All right, thank you for joining us. This is Adrienne Green here with KBES Media, and we are live and here at KBES, ready for a live Q&A session with the leadership team at Pathway Academy and Miss Tiffany. So, we're going to go around the room and tell us your name and your role with Pathway and what does that mean. So we'll start over here with Dr. McAllister.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for showing up and being a part of what we hope brings hope to the whole city. My name is Dr. Thaddeus McAllister. I'm actually the superintendent of Pathway Academy. And what that means is that I am an expert juggler. There are lots of balls that have to stay in the air. And so I'm always running around trying to take care of things. But also I'm charged with keeping the vision of Pathway. One of the things that I'm very excited about is what Pathway is going to mean for the city of Big Spring and hopefully to the whole state and maybe nation one day.
I'm Tiffany Ruiz. I am currently planning the math and science aspect of Pathway for grades 7, 8, and 9. I'm working with the curriculum and getting all the planning and videos and lessons going for the next year.
Awesome. Tommy Moore, I am CFO with Pathway Academy. Thaddeus said that, he's juggling, so part of my job is to make sure that none of those balls drop, right? So, just excited still for what we are going to potentially bring to our community, the community that we grew up in and that we love so much, and we care about all the futures of the kids here in Big Spring. So just continuing to put the work in to make sure that we have everything necessary to provide a great and bright future for our kids here.
Awesome. So last month in October, y'all had the first Pathway Academy mixer called Skating the Pathway. How did that go?
Oh man, I'm gonna let Tommy talk about that. That was Tommy's baby. So I think he did a wonderful job with it, but go ahead.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. First time that I had done, something like that, but we were able to bring together some of the students and parents who had already signed their intent to enroll, and man, we had a good time. We got out there, we skated, the kids had a great time. We did a treasure hunt. We had a skating competition. Thaddeus and I got out there. I think he did a lot better than I did. I guess I was skating with 2 left feet, I guess you would say. But we had a lot of fun. It was a great turnout, and we are busy planning the next student recruitment event. And so just stay tuned because the first one was incredible. So with a little bit of experience behind me, I know that the next one will be even better.
Awesome. And again, those of y'all that are joining us on the Facebook Live, if y'all have any questions during this time, please make sure that you comment down below and I'll read those questions and we'll get those questions answered. This is a live Q&A session, so if you have questions, we've got answers. So moving on, what are some new news that y'all have? Any new announcements about Pathway Academy right now?
None right now. Just kidding. Yeah, there's loads of new things going on, but probably one of the most important ones that people keep asking about is Pathway going to have sports? Will Pathway have sports? And after the board talked to me, and after Tommy and I have been looking at finances and figuring out what do we need to be able to do in order to make sure that we can provide our students everything that they want, right? Because our goal is to make sure that students don't have to give up or have to choose between academics and athletics. We don't want that for kids. We want them to come to our school and feel like they are receiving everything that they want. And so when I talked to the board said, if you can make it happen, let's make it happen. And so we are making sports happen. We're going to start off with football, basketball, volleyball, girls basketball in year 1. And so very excited about that. In fact, we've got one of our coaches who's joining us too a little bit later, and he'll be able to talk to some of the things that he's hoping to do at Pathway.
Awesome. How is the enrollment update?
Good. Enrollment, we are creeping up on about halfway enrolled. Man, it's happening fast. Remember, we're not even opening our doors until August. And so if you were we're trying to push up our lottery date. We wanted to do it in the first week of December. We may have to push it a little back. But man, enrollment's working great. Kids are coming in, parents. The saddest thing about enrollment is kids that are 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, we're not able to open up to them year one. And parents who are coming to us saying, what can we do for your kids? So I am working on something, a plan for your kids to be able to do. But to everybody who's already signed their intent to enroll, man, we are working on creating the best atmosphere for you possible. We're going to be getting you together with each other. And I can't wait until I'm around you every day.
Awesome. And let's talk with Miss Tiffany Ruiz here. So, Tiffany, you've already mentioned your role with Pathway. For those who are just now joining us, tell them a little bit about yourself again and about your role with Pathway.
My name is Tiffany Ruiz. This is my 12th year of teaching. I primarily taught math, all grades, up through middle school. I've been to a couple different districts. My husband's been a coach for a long time. So I've been in Big Spring. I was in Big Spring for 4 years. Then we moved around a little bit after that, Midland and Colorado City and Arizona. So I've been to a lot of different schools, had a lot of different experiences, and learned a lot of things along the way. And teaching math is my passion. I love being creative with math. A lot of people don't think you can be creative with math, but I love to prove them wrong and teach kids that everybody can do math regardless of whether they think they can or not.
Awesome. And you have been working on helping out with creating lessons and curriculum for Pathway. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I have my master's degree in curriculum and instruction, so I've been working on creating curriculum. We've been working on some different aspects of the lesson cycle, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But trying to get I have the first couple of units mapped out already, but we're working on getting all that curriculum done before the beginning of the next year.
Awesome.
So a bit of a shameless plug for teachers. Whenever you come in first day, your units are already planned out for you so that you can work on and focus on building connections and relationships with students, but also focus on the intervention piece. And so that's one of the biggest things for Pathway right now is we want the people who are working on creating or organizing our curriculum and creating the different pedagogical nuances that go into making Pathway unique. We want all that planned out for you so that you don't have to do that. That doesn't mean that you can't take it and make it your own, but whenever you come, you're going to be learning a new system, so we don't want you having to learn that. So teachers out there.
All right. And for yourself, how do you feel for yourself? What's the best way that you create those relationships with students?
Cool. Is that for me?
That's for you and for Tiffany.
Okay, awesome. You want to take first?
I just try to be involved in their lives, go to their games, go to their events outside of school, make time to talk to them. I have a little box in my room that kids can write me notes because they always want to talk to you and give you stories during class time. And I'm like, we've got to move on with their lesson, but I want to hear your stories. So they write me notes, put them in my box, and I'll write them notes back, and we can talk during recess or lunch or whenever it is. Just finding those little opportunities throughout the day, and even during free time. I have 4 kids, so we're pretty busy, but we try to make time to go to different events and make sure we support the kids and everything that they do.
That's awesome.
I'm definitely stealing the note idea. It's a great idea. For me, it's like Tiffany said, it's about showing up in their space. But then also I would add listening. So many kids, they have stories, they have real life that's happening to them with no one to listen. Parents are busy. Even my own son just told me the other day, which is kind of an excuse, but we'll get it fixed. But I said, son, why didn't you just tell me? He said, well, Dad, you're so busy. And that shouldn't be an excuse as to why a kid doesn't get listened to. And so throughout my educational career, the best thing that I did to build relationships with kids is just listen. Sometimes they don't want your advice, sometimes they do. But if you can be that listening ear for them to that sounding board, you'll win them over pretty easy.
Awesome. So I'm going to let you lead this next part of the conversation about lessons and curriculum with Ms. Ruiz.
Yeah, so Ms. Ruiz, you've been a part of some traditional education systems, and you are crafting Pathway Academy's pedagogy. Can you talk to us about what are the differences and what ways are you most excited to make Pathway unique?
Well, Pathway is going to be self-paced, so that excites me that I don't have to have kids who are behind me teaching or who are ahead of me teaching. They all get to work at their own pace. Every kid is different. And so we have I'm planning the units one unit at a time with different activities for each unit. They self-pace through the unit with videos. There's videos for each unit. There's Google Slides for each unit. There's activities for each unit. And so they kind of self-pace through them. I have a tracker that I use that I can see how they're doing so that I can pull small groups for intervention and tutoring and work with them if they're struggling. They have extension activities for the higher kids and activities that connect to real world scenarios and jobs, careers outside of school. So we're excited about the acceleration aspect and the intervention aspect.
Awesome. Any other questions on that part?
Yeah. So how are you going to measure whether or not students are actually being successful at learning if everything's self-paced?
Okay, so we have mastery checks for every lesson. There are probably 5 to 10 questions for each mastery check. We have activities for each lesson that they have to turn in, and we have this whole data tracker that updates in real time, and it shows us not only academics but mentally how they're feeling about it. You know, if they're feeling confident, if they need some extra reinforcement, and that, so we can track their progress through those things, and we can see, okay, they didn't master this topic, we need to pull them and provide them with some support on that. Or, you know, they are mastering these, they're good to move forward. They do need to check in, and they have some reflection activities and things that they can fill out to kind of self-reflect and check in with their teachers throughout the unit.
Awesome. You know, one of the hardest things about public education is when you go to a student and you ask them, what do you want to be whenever you get older? And they have no vision for themselves, no hope for themselves. They say, I don't know. Or whether you're teaching in a classroom and you have kids saying, I don't even know why I need to know this. Do you believe that Pathway students will be that way?
No, I do not. Every application and extension activity that we're planning is geared toward real world relevance. We're trying to connect everything they're learning to the real world and ways that they can apply their learning to real world scenarios and careers.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but Ms. Tiffany Ruiz has been working hard, and so very proud of her and her work. Excited for what this means for Pathway students. The next layer to that, right? We absolutely have the academic piece, bar none, going to be the best academic place in the state of Texas. But the next piece is, how do we ensure that Pathway students come out graduated with the good skills to be good people? And the 3 things that we want for Pathway graduates is for them to be well-connected, for them to be problem solvers, and for them to be influential. And so the next layer that we're going to be doing is weaving those into the fabric of our academic day? How do we make sure that students are influential? How do we make sure students are well connected, not just to other people, but also to their purpose? And then how do we make sure that students have the academic background to be able to problem solve, but also the analysis skills to be able to understand what's happening in real world time, or to understand what someone is saying, and then be able to come up with something to solve the issue. So very excited for what's happening at Pathway, whether we're using artificial intelligence, virtual reality, we'll have the best technology. I go on and on about this. It's kind of, that's probably why, I'm sitting here. So I'll stop. Sorry, guys.
All right. So, is there any updates concerning the lottery date?
Oh, and so the thing is so there are already 66 people on the list, and we've already got some parents who are volunteering, doing different things, and my pledge to them is I want to make sure that their kids get in. That if you're already on the list, your student gets in, or if your student that you get into the school. The only way that I can do that is by moving the lottery date up. However, after hearing from our back office providers, there are some things that I have to put in place before we can do that. I promise you that I'm going to be working on that all this week and all next week. Tommy's actually going to be working on it. I've charged him with getting the lottery date up by the middle of December so that we can tell you, yes, you are in. After that, we won't be able to promise anybody else a spot, but I believe that if you've already filled out the intent to enroll, you've earned your spot to be able to come in.
All right. And Tommy, where can people find the intent to enroll form?
Guys, go to our website, pathwayhc.org, and you can fill out your intent to enroll. Just like Thaddeus said, we've got a ton of interest, and we want to make sure that we can guarantee as many spots as we can. So it is very, very important that you go on and go ahead and get your students signed up, and we're excited to get them signed up, and just do it as soon as possible. If you need to reach out to us, please feel free to. We want to provide all the information that we possibly can, so that you feel confident in the choice that you're making for your child.
If there are families that are primarily Spanish speakers, is that an obstacle?
No, it won't be an obstacle. Thaddeus can speak great Spanish. He displayed that out. Miss Ruiz, come on, man. So it won't be an issue. Now, if you're talking to me, it might be a problem. But, we will make sure that we get a Spanish intent to enroll out as soon as possible, so that is not an issue. Because like we always say, we want to make sure that we make this available to everyone, and we don't want to have any barriers to you being able to sign your student up.
All right. And I think that brings us to the circling back around.
One more plug just to make it easier. I'm going to ask our social media person right after this if they can link the intent to enroll in the comment section of this video, just so that you guys have a little bit easy. You don't have to navigate to the website. But please go to the website. We put a lot of work into that. Please go to the website and check it out.
All right. So while you get situated with our next guest, we will take a moment to remind you that you can find the intent to enroll form on the Pathway Academy website and on the Pathway Academy Facebook page, which is just Pathway Academy. And now we will take it over to our next guest. So earlier in the feed, we talked about Pathway Academy adding a variety of sports, not just football, but also volleyball and boys and girls basketball. So here we have one of the coaches. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. So Keegan Clark needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway because he means that much to me. When I was a young teacher, one of the things that I did is I went and I coached at youth sports. And Keegan taught me everything that I needed to know about sports. Taught me everything I needed to know about coaching. I remember back when I was coaching 7th grade junior high football, and I was, in my best Keegan Clark impression, jumping up and down on the sideline, giving the kids everything I had. And I went to them after one game and I said, Keegan, do I look stupid? This is a 7th grade B team football game and I am yelling like my hair's on fire. Do I look stupid? And I will never forget the words that he told me. He said, this football game is the most important thing happening for these kids. If it's not the most important thing happening for you, you're cheating them. And he has lived that every day of his life. He works 10, 12 hours a day, wakes up early in the morning so he can get off and go coach for football practice and basketball practice for youth. Don't believe he's received a dime for it this whole time. I do believe he's had to put a whole bunch of his own money into it, his own time. And so for him to be able to come teach as the CTE facilitator and to be able to coach at Pathway, it means a lot to me, and I know it's going to mean a lot to the kids that he gets to impart his wisdom to. So without further ado, Keegan, your first question. Are you ready?
How's everybody doing? How everybody doing this morning? Good afternoon.
All right,
I'm
Keegan.
ready.
All right. Can you talk to me a little bit about how do you go about building relationships with kids?
Man, I tell you, man, it's a lot about, like what you said, man. It's just being able to meet the kid where they at, man, and being able to get down on their level. One of my main things, man, is that you got to show love, man. I mean, you got to show love. I mean, it can't be wondered if you love them or not. I remember, when I was growing up, as I got older, my stepdad was a Marine Corps drill sergeant, and so, there was a lot of strict stuff, man, and I remember when I got older, I didn't even really know if he really loved me, you know what I'm saying? I knew he, I always had something to eat, I always had clothes, I always had all these things that dad's supposed to do, but I didn't really even know, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't because he didn't love me. It's because he never verbalized it, you know what I'm saying? So, you got to let these kids know you love them. I do that with my own kids, and, and then when I coach these kids, I try to treat them just like they're my own, and so, man, you got to tell them you love them, you got to show them you love them. A lot of times when you get a kid, and they're not used to hearing those things, they might grow up in a house, like I was in, not that I didn't get love, but if you didn't hear it from your dad, you really kind of really don't know. And so I make sure I tell the kids I love them. I make sure I show them I love them, and then return them for what I can.
Speaking of showing kids that you love them, now you could have. We're supposed to be here today, but you're not. Can you tell us why you're not here today? Well, I'm up in Lubbock, man. I had one of my kids on my team suffer a knee injury, man. Closer to the beginning of the season. And, he took me to the doctor. Mom took me to the doctor and down over in Odessa. And he had, they said he needed surgery. Of course, he's 12. And so, we want to make sure we get a second opinion before, we can start cutting on a 12-year-old knee. And so that's what we up here doing today. We're up here in Lubbock, man, getting a second opinion on his knee. So, it's just kind of showing up for one of my kids. Can I ask you, how much money have you made coaching youth sports?
Oh, man, I ain't made no money. You hear about coaching anyway, man. This ain't the get rich job, man. This ain't the get rich stuff, man. And when you're on volunteer, it even, to a greater extent when you volunteer, man, you in it because you love kids, man. You in it because, you love the game. You in it because you believe in what this game can do for the children. I just think, as far as football-wise, I think every boy needs to play. He needs to at least try to play. He may get in it, and it may just not be for him, but at least he tried. And if he went there and tried, something's going to come. He's going to be able to get somebody that's going to help him down the line. I guarantee he's going to be able to get something.
Now, you're going to be serving as the CTE facilitator. Can you talk to us about what that means?
Career Technical Education Facilitator. Okay. Me and fellas have talked about this, and my main function of being, making sure that the kids are on pace. Making sure that each kid completes his, what we call it, let me look at my notes right here, his Career Technical Education Principal Level course. And so, I'm the one that's going to make sure that the kids are, progressing through that course at their pace, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like everything else, it's an online self-paced course. So I'll be there helping them guide them through those things and help them move through that course effectively and efficiently. And also I'll be the point guy on making sure that they're paired with mentors. You know, both an in-town mentor and an out-of-town mentor. So pretty straightforward work. Now I think I'll be able to be pretty good at that.
I completely forgot that we talked about you overseeing the mentor program. I'm glad you remembered, T. That's one less thing off my plate. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, well, we gotta parcel this stuff out, man.
Thank you. Well, did you have anything else that you want to share with anybody who's thinking about enrolling their student at Pathway?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, one thing, as far as me, I didn't just come on here just to be the football coach. You know what I'm saying? We enrolled my kid in school here. I mean, and it's my kid's a smart kid, man. He's a real good student. You know what I'm saying? But that goes along with understanding the vision that's there. You know what I'm saying? Understanding the vision that Dr. McAllister has. I tell him all the time, man. I feel like he's a rising star. In the education field in this state. If not in the country. As far as the kids we're reaching out to, kids here in Big Spring First, he knows exactly what they need. This guy, Dr. McAllister, he's able to put forth this vision about Pathway because he is Pathway. He's the kid. So he's able to say, man, well, what did I need when I was that age? He's able to line it out, and there it is. And I think that's even more important for the Big Spring kids. Big Spring kids, they need certain things, man, and I think that we got the right leadership in place, man, and knowing what they need, and able to step out there, just that doesn't look like something that has been going on, you know what I'm saying? Now we have something, you know what I'm saying, that's maybe a little different, what an option is what I call it, an option. So for you to make sure that your kid may be getting exactly what you feel like they need.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Well,
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clark. All right. So we've heard a lot of new information, a lot of updates for Pathway Academy, answered some questions, met some staff members, future staff members and current staff members. And is there anything else y'all would like to mention before we wrap up our Facebook Live today?
Guys, get your intent to enroll signed as soon as possible. That way we can go ahead and start sending out our Pathway swag, and we can start getting you in and knowing each other as soon as possible. We're getting the parents together as soon as possible. We want this to be as much as a family as we can.
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining us, everybody that's been watching. We didn't have any questions pop up in the feed. I think y'all did a great job of talking about the topics and explaining them well. So thank y'all for watching, and we will talk to y'all again next time. And if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to comment there below or message Pathway Academy if you have any questions, and we will talk to y'all later. Bye.